Today we're going to be doing rice pilaf. Again, like I mentioned, if you don't have your oven preheated, please preheat the oven to 350 degrees. And then make sure your rack is in the middle so that you have room for your pot. My pot is this size right here. Yours may be different, but it needs to be deep like this, and wide is okay because we are going to make a good amount of rice and we don't want it to boil over, okay? So we're going to start off today. Hopefully you have your ingredients. You may already have your onions chopped, but I'm going to go ahead and demo today how I cut my onion when I do cut the onion, okay? Some people don't like the smell of onions on their hands. They buy pre-cut onions, and that's okay. I'm all about shortcuts. They sell them in the freezer section at Trader Joe's and Stop and Shop. But today I'm going to show you my onion. So we're calling for about a ½ cup of onion. So this kind of fits right there. That's about the amount we need. Remember, when you're measuring dry ingredients, use these type of measuring cups, okay? All right. So I'm going to take my onion, which I've already pre-peeled. That. You'll see the lines in the onion. That is kind of a little bit of a, get close to that. That kind of tells you how you start to cut your onion when you want to do small dice. With my onion, I happen to like to use a serrated knife with it. Although I do use my chef's knife quite a bit, but it kind of helps with the sound that I'm going to show you. Coming out of my cutting board, I'm going to follow the line, and that tells you how to cut it. If you cut it the other way first, you're going to have a little bit more difficult time getting a small dice. I take it, I turn it to its side, I come over, I come across it, and I come across it, like that. Now I'm going to turn it the other way, and the reason I like to do serrated knife, I can hear it saw, crunch. And I turn it. All right, here we go. Little big pieces at the end. All right, so we got our onion. And if it's enough for here, transfer it, transfer it. Right there. I'm gonna do another one. Again, we have our lines. That.
How much
were you supposed to put in there? It depends. A lot of people don't like a lot of onions, so you don't have to put as many as I'm gonna put in there. I'm probably gonna put a little bit more than this because we're making 2 cups. So according to the recipe, I said about, this right here is a ½ cup. So put that in there. And that's about what I have, about a ½ cup. Right there. And that small onion's about a ½ cup. All right. Get the rest in here. All right, that's our ½ cup of onion. All right. Now I'm going to tell you that with Asian food, 90% of the process of making Asian food is having all of your preparation done ahead of time. But first we're going to do the rice pilaf, and hopefully, you have either some rice left over from the other night, or you're going to have to wait to make your stir-fried rice because it'll get sticky if it's not dry. I made some last night, so that I would have some for the stir-fried rice. So we have our onions now ready. We're going to move this way over here to the little PIC, your stove. So you have a top because we're going to practice that sweating method that we did last week. We're going to put it on medium. I need some electricity. All right. Give me just 1 second. Technical difficulty. I'm going to take my oil off. There we go. There it is. And we have our oil. Going to pour our oil in. That. There. A little pinch of salt, because remember, we're going to sweat the onions. We're not going to saute them. Okay? Making rice pilaf is another wet cooking method, okay? Now wait just a minute. And like I tell my students at school, you do a little veggie test. It's not sizzling, so it's not ready. You'll be able to tell because the oil will start to quiver. We're going to sweat the onions because we want to make sure that flavor is going to infuse into the rice, okay? Also, if you have your stock ready, it should be hot. If it's not, It's just gonna take your rice a little bit longer to come up to a simmer or a high simmer before it goes into the oven. A lot of people cook their rice on the stove, but by cooking the rice in the oven, it gives it a better, even cooking. You won't burn the bottom of your rice. You will, it'll be fluffier and flakier. You'll see that it's gonna come out much better when you cook in the oven because the air and the heat is able to surround the whole pot and cook evenly, okay? All right, let's go back down here. We have a little bit of quiver on our oil. Let's do a little veggie check. It's sizzling, so we're ready. It's gonna go in. You hear it talking to us. We don't want it to be too hot because we're not trying to burn it. Okay, we're not trying to burn it. We're not trying to brown it. We're trying to sweat it. We're gonna coat it. I'm gonna lower my heat a little bit. Remember what I say, manage the heat. Don't let the heat manage you. I'm gonna put a touch of it under my stock that I already had. Measure and a top on it. Makes me want to cry. Okay, I got that on medium low. Just gonna let it sweat for a couple of minutes. Meanwhile, I'm gonna get my rice ready, which is already measured. I have 2 cups of rice here, which I have measured with a dry measuring cup. It's the one with the little handle like this. I have 2 cups in here. I have my bay leaf ready to go. All right, don't break it up. Okay, and let's check our, smells good. Onions should be a little translucent, but not brown. If you brown them, and they get too brown, they burn, it's gonna get bitter. Your rice is not gonna have a really good taste, okay? That's perfect, they're translucent. Our rice is gonna go in. Gonna coat that. Real good, get the onions all mixed in there. Everything looks nice and shiny with the oil. It's gonna help your rice from sticking together. Okay. I'm gonna put a pinch of pepper in mine. I like it like that. You don't need to add salt right now because your stock should have enough salt in it, okay? Now I'm gonna put my heat up and I'm gonna add my hot stock. You can hear it sizzle. That's 2 cups. And this is 4 cups. Depending on which rice you use, all rices have a different ratio. This happens to be jasmine rice, which is my favorite. It has a 1-to-2 ratio. So if you were to use 1 cup of rice, you need 2 cups of liquid. So since we're using 2 cups of rice, we're using 4 cups of liquid. All different rices have different ratios. Brown rice, wild rice. So you have to always read your package, okay? Now, we stirred that. You're gonna bring this up to a high simmer. Mine's probably gonna come up a little bit faster than yours. As soon as it comes up to a high simmer, we're gonna put our bay leaf in, okay? Now, the bay leaf is gonna end up floating on top of this liquid, so don't worry about it. It has a horrible bitter taste if you tried to eat with the leaf, but it gives off an amazing aroma flavor to the rice once it's put into the liquid. And at the very end, it's easy to take out. It just floats to the top, and then we're able to get like a knife or fork and just lift it off and throw it away, okay? That's why I said don't break it up, because those little pieces get in the rice and it becomes a problem. Okay, my rice is now up to a simmer. It's boiling. We want to give it a head start before it goes into the oven. I'm giving it one last stir. There it goes, it's bubbling. Put my bay leaf in, then I'll put our top on it, and then it's gonna get transferred to the oven. This pot doesn't fit into my mini oven, so in a little bit, my assistant here is gonna make sure that gets to the oven. So I'm just gonna transfer it over to the side. Turn this off. And then I'm going to switch it around. And I'm gonna put a pan on here because we're gonna get, okay, put a timer on for 20 minutes. If it is long grain white rice, it's 20 minutes on the timer. Got it? Great. While that's cooking for 20 minutes, that's why we're gonna do the fried rice, okay? So for starters, I like to make my eggs separate. So I'm gonna put this on medium, Start. And is there any questions on the rice pilaf? Anybody have any questions before I get started going to the next thing? Oh, okay. If you do have any questions, send them to the chat. We'll stop and take a look at that. And I'm going to work on the scrambled eggs next. Let's see here. My saute pan out. Rewarming it. Oil, eggs. Okay. Got our eggs here. Now I'm gonna do 2 eggs because I'm gonna actually end up doing 2 batches of stir fry. So I'm gonna cook all my eggs at once. On the recipe, it just calls for 1. Trash.
Okay.
We got that. I'm gonna take a little bit of my water. It's right into my there. I'm gonna spray my pan just to make sure my sides don't stick. All right, that's good. All right, it's nice and coated. Sides. All right, now I'm gonna take my oil. Now we want this as flat as possible. We're not gonna be stirring it in the pan not very much, okay? That. And salt. And whisk my eggs, a little bit of water. Air in there. And I'm gonna do a test here.
How high should the pan be?
I'm gonna lower that. Any question? I heard some noise.
How hot should the pan be? Like what?
It should be enough to make a little sizzle, but you don't want it really hot. We're not trying to burn it. We're just trying to make sure I coat it real good.
Like a medium?
I'd say a medium. I have mine on medium low, and look, I'm doing a test. This side sizzles, but I lowered mine like that. See how it's making a little bit of the cook, but not like flashing out at you. Listen, not a big loud noise, because you don't want it to like burn right away, okay? Okay, so it's making a little bit of a film at the end. See how like it's coming together? And that's okay. I don't want it to immediately go in the pan and start to like sizzle and pop and burn. I want it to stay as flat as possible. Now, once I got it in there, I can raise it the heat. Okay. Yeah, you raise the heat up to at least a medium or a medium high because you do want it to start to cook a little bit more. Okay. And again, I have a little bit more egg than you do because I'm making enough for 2 recipes because I'm going to stir fry twice. And I'm seeing it's starting to pull away from the edges is good. I do a whole class on scrambled eggs in my class at school. So some of my kids know how to do this. And then I do it and I bring some of the egg back this way. And bring some of the egg this way. But you want to stay as flat as possible because we want to be able to slice it into like strips. Okay. Okay. That. We have people making egg, or is it just me? Anybody making egg?
I'm making eggs.
Who's making eggs? Jen? All right, good, Jen. All right. And Remy, okay.
No, I'm not. That's cringy.
You're watching? Okay, good. All right. It's starting to bubble in the middle. See that? It's like one big pancake. At this point, you want to try to flip it. If you don't think you can flip it, I'm going to cut mine in half because this is actually enough for 2 recipes. I'm going to take it. Try to flip it over. Keep it as flat as possible. You can do it in the air. All right, go for it. There you go. And that's about as much as you need to cook it because remember, it's going to get cooked in the stir fry. Again, I slice mine in half because I'm doing it for 2 recipes. And later on, I'll show you how to slice it. You just set it to the side. Gonna leave that there. And then we're going to proceed with the stir fry. Okay, everybody caught up? All right. Now, come this way, Leah. Now, you see how I have all my items prepped? Because with stir fry, having everything lined up is really important. In just a minute, I'm going to tell you how to line it up. But for right now, I'm going to do some demoing. But for right now, I have my my measurements are half of what you have because I have a very small pan. So if you have a larger pan than this, you can do your whole recipe at one time, okay? But my pan, this is the only size of pan I can use with this PIC, so I had to do mine in half increments. So I'm actually gonna do a chicken fried rice and I'm gonna do a shrimp fried rice, okay? So I'm putting out all my ingredients. And give me a second, and I'll tell you exactly, but I wanna do a little bit of demo chopping for you while we got some time, okay? All right, out of the way. First, I'm gonna demo my carrots. They make it a little bit fancier, because most of the time, carrots, you don't want to just make them round. You want to look a little fancy. I have my nice sharp knife here. This way, I cut them in half. I use the baby carrots because it's what I have right now, and I'm doing them at a diagonal so they look nice and pretty inside your rice like that. Okay. Chop them up.
Is it okay if I have eggs stuck to the bottom of my pan?
It happens on some pans, especially if do you use a nonstick?
Yeah.
It's okay. It's gonna get chopped up anyway, so it's all right. It's just easier when it comes off on a sheet to slice off, but you're okay.
All right. So I was finishing with my eggs. I kind of missed.
Yeah, you can transfer it over to a bowl if you want a bowl. Instead of a plate, you can, and then we will end up chopping it up in little strips if possible. But it's okay. Once you stir fry it, it's not gonna look as, like what you think it's gonna look. All right, so that's my veggies. I make mine kind of a little bigger, but I try to keep them uniform with the cooking. So maybe I got confused with the question of the egg. What happened? Did I miss it?
She said she already did that.
Okay, all right, she's good. All right. Okay, you want me to proceed on? Okay, so here are my carrots. I don't make mine real tiny because sometimes my daughter doesn't like them, so then she pulls them out. Sometimes she will eat them. So I try to make them big enough where she would be able to pull them out. But try to keep them the same size because, again, it's all about uniformity and being able to cook them at the same rate, okay? Now I have scallions. Any questions? That's okay. So now I have scallions. I'm going to cut the ends off. They've already been rinsed. A question?
I was just curious why you add the water to the egg.
It helps steam it because a lot of times in Japanese or Chinese cooking, they actually steam the egg, but we don't have all that equipment for me to show you all that. So it makes it a little bit more fluffier and steamier. That's what the water does too.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is it okay? I used frozen onions.
Yes. I mostly always use frozen onions, but I happen to have some fresh onions because they were out of frozen because I don't like my hands to smell like onion. But yes, frozen onions will work perfectly fine. Okay. Especially, and that's either in the stir fry or in the rice pilaf. Just be aware that when you use the frozen onions in the stir fry, it can splash a little bit more with the hot oil because we are going to cook at a high heat. So you have to be careful with the splashing, okay, of the oil. All right, I'm going to just demo how I cut my scallions because sometimes people just cut them in round circles. I try to make mine a little bit smaller because, once again, they cook better, and also my daughter won't be trying to pick them out. So I cut it in half. If it still seems a little big, I cut it again in half. In the middle, start from here, go way down the middle, and then I go down this way, down the middle.
Do I need scallions and onions?
For the stir fry, it's just scallions. If you have one or the other, I wouldn't put both if I was you.
Okay.
I prefer scallions because that's what the GGS stands for, ginger, garlic, and scallions, which we're going to add to this right here. I'll take this off.
Oh, I thought you spelled eggs wrong.
I did? No, it's GGS. It's what I call in my class. My kids know what GGS means. So in a minute, I'm going to add the scallions into here. So if you have your ginger and garlic, you want to put it in a bowl together with the scallions because it's easier to throw it into the pan or the wok all at one time. Believe me, once it gets going, it's going to go fast. So I'm going to cut my scallions real quick. And if you don't like a lot of onions, if you don't have to put as many of them. We like a lot of it, so I go all the way up to the green. Yeah. Yeah. There's some nice birdies. Okay. Now I already have some cut for my second batch, so this is just for my first batch. And that should be plenty for my first batch. And that. So I'm going to add it to here. All right, so we're ready to go. And that. So this is how we're going to line things up. With Asian cooking, it's all about the preparation takes 90% of the thing, and then the cooking is only like 10%. So I have my 1 tablespoon of vegetable oil. It can be olive, it can be canola, it can be corn, something with a very neutral flavor, okay? Because our flavor is going to come at the end with sesame seed oil. If you don't have sesame seed oil, if you have peanut oil, you can use that as well. So we have the oil, we have the GGS, and you're going to line up your rice, your chicken or your meat of choice, and you got your carrots, peas, which are all optional. I usually put mushrooms, but I don't have any today. And then you're going to have your sesame and your soy sauce. Okay. So I'm lined up, and you got your salt and pepper. All right. Now we're going to start. Let's see, how much time do we have left on our pilaf? 9 minutes? Oh, I can do stir fry in 9 minutes. Okay, so here we go. All right, be ready, and you want to have like 1 or 2 silicone spatulas because we're going to be doing some stirring. You may only need 1 because you might need to hold a pan, so just, beware. All right, and then have a pan or some kind of plate to be able to get the fried rice off as soon as it's done, okay? Because the pan's going to be at a high heat. Okay, we're going to start off at medium heat. Okay, and first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the oil in. The oil is going to go in, and we want to be able to keep an eye on it with our eyes, with our nose, everything. First thing is it's going to see it's going to come up to a quiver. Maybe hard to see on the film, but you'll see when it comes to a quiver. All right, and then everything's going to start going in fast. Like sometimes even my daughter has to help me just pass the things to me because I'm just constantly stirring. That's why it's called stir fry, okay? So we're going to do a little bit of a veggie test. It's starting to, but it's not ready yet, okay? Now it's sizzling. All right, we're getting up to temperature. All right, so first thing that's going to go in, going to be the GGS, ginger, garlic, scallion. Almost every Asian dish will have ginger, garlic, and scallion. GGS, okay? There it is. Now be careful because it's going to be hot. It's going to splatter. I happen to be using the squeezed ginger and the squeezed garlic that you can buy from BJ's or Costco's or Stop and Shop. Just because we use so much of it and it stays in the refrigerator for much longer than a root will go bad fast, okay? So here it goes. This is into the oil. It may start to splatter. Be careful. It's all in there. It splattered my daughter already. Okay. Over the oil. Don't let it burn. If it stays in place too long, it's gonna burn. You can smell it. It smells good. Next, it's gonna go into the rice. Rice is going in. Rice. Coat it good. Keep stirring it. Very good. I hear some stirring. Very good. Let's up the temperature. Wrap it up a little bit. Get a pinch of pepper. Don't put any salt because your soy sauce is going to be your salt, okay? Be aware of that. We'll taste at the end. You can always add more, but you can't take away. Chicken goes next. Tossing your chicken, keep stirring. It's going to stick a little bit to the bottom. It's okay. I just don't want to add too much oil because it'll get greasy. Okay. Throw that in. Next gonna be your veggies. Veggies. Please. Now, most Asian food always has more than one flavor. It's either sweet and sour, salty and spicy, and sometimes it has even up to 3 to 4 flavors. That's just the way the culture is. There's never really one flavor in their food. So with this dish, it's going to be more like salty and nutty with the sesame oil, okay? Got that? I'm going to raise up the heat to the medium to high. And then I'm going to go in and put my sesame oil. You don't have to put all of it. Depends on what you like to taste. We like sesame oil, but I don't want it to get too greasy. Okay. I'm going to coat that. Be able to smell it. Now I'm going to add the soy sauce. Same thing. Pour a little bit. You can always taste it and see if you want more. Coat that. Our family likes mirin, which is a Japanese. It's got the sweet to it. So sometimes we add that, but today I'm not going to do that. Now you see it's kind of turning the color. All right. Now I'm going to taste this.
Oh my God, it's delicious.
It's good. I'm going to either put it on low or on off and just leave it on there. It'll stay warm and it'll keep cooking. And right now I'm going to cut the egg. So I'm going to take my egg here. I'm cutting more. Show you my egg. Japan is how they do it. They roll it.
Oh.
If you don't like it too long, you can do one more time in that. It makes like strips like that. See? That's why we want to kind of keep it in. Yeah. I'm going to take it over here. Put it in here. There you go. Punch my knife. Okay. Now, turn that in there. Now, if you made this the night before, you know, like, because you know you're going to be in a hurry tomorrow to lunch, or you want to take it for lunch for when we ever go back to work somewhere, you can warm it up in the microwave. Not too much, but you want to make sure your rice always gets warmed up really hot because it can make you sick. Rice is one of those things that will give you food poisoning really fast, okay? Yeah, so everybody can smell and taste it. All right, did everybody give it a taste? Let's give it one more taste. See if we need to add any salt and pepper. I need to touch us all, but I don't want to add any more soy. And it's delicious. Okay, see, it can be easy. Now, true Chinese and true chicken fried rice, usually they cook the chicken in the wok before they put the rice in. But I have to tell you, it's really hard to make sure the chicken is cooked up to 165 degrees without a wok. And you have to toss it in cornstarch. It's really messy and it's kind of scary because you don't want to make sure you don't get anybody sick. So I prefer chicken fried rice or any kind of fried rice this way. It's easier and you can do a lot of the prep the night before. And then that night when you're coming home and it's like really fast, you just put it all together on the stove. So if anybody wants to hang out more, I'm going to make a second batch so you can practice again, either watching while you're eating your rice or just, you know, watch again. And I'm going to do it with shrimp this time. I was trying to find one of my woks, but I was very unsuccessful. So we're going to do it this way again. So let's see, how are we on our pilaf? I think our pilaf is ready. I'm going to bring it out. I'm going to show you how we're going to fluff it with a fork. When you're dealing with pilaf, it means it's always made in the oven, okay? And it gives you a lot more time to use your stove and your time. I like to let the oven do as much as the work as possible, okay? It needs about 3 more minutes, and then we're gonna check on it again. And it's gonna come out more fluffy, and you're able to do other things while that rice is cooking. Let it do the work for you, okay? So I'm gonna start getting my stuff ready for the next stir fry. We're gonna go through it again. It does take a little practice. All right, I'm gonna get my oil out. So it's oil, GGS. It's my GGS. I love it, the gin, but I misspelled eggs because I probably would have. First time I spelled correctly, I kept saying gags. That. Then this time I'm gonna make a little cooked shrimp that I had left over from yesterday, which I made some ceviche for all those fans. I made that yesterday and I had a little left over. And I've pre-cut my carrots. And I got peas. And you can add other vegetables to your, whatever your family likes. You can add asparagus. Some people add peppers. So just kind of whatever you want to throw in there that your kids might like, okay? All right, got all that lined up there. And gonna turn this on medium. Get that going. All right. Oh, it's my timer. Let's see before we get started if we can, not ready yet. Okay. Assistant said not yet. Okay, here we go. Got this hot. But take this time to check your rice and see how it's going. You know, you want to make sure there's no liquid in it. So take about a minute, check your rice. I'll wait on you. You want to make sure there's no liquid in there. But you also want to make sure that that bay leaf is on the top. See if it's dry. You want to eyeball it, okay? Okay, mine's ready. So before we start this, we're going to bring out the rice. I'm going to lower mine to low, just so make sure I have enough time so it won't burn. And this way. Oh. All right. Here's the rice. And the handle is going to be hot, and so is the top. So have this, and after I'm finished working with this, so everybody in my house knows this pot and handle are hot, I leave this on here. Because inevitably somebody will walk by, oh, what's this, Mom? And they'll grab the handle, and it's going to be Cry City at my house, okay? So take off the top. I'm going to take a look in closer. You'll see how the bay leaf has floated to the top. We take that off. It goes bye-bye. Same one place. And then you'll see, Fluffy, you always use a fork, and you want to pull it away. We usually let it sit for like 10 minutes, but I want to go ahead and show you how you use the fork. So I'm going to close it back up because it can steam a little bit longer. So I'm going to let it rest for about 10 more minutes. I want to show you that, and we're going to come back to that. Leave all this covered, the handle and the top. All right, now back to stir fry. I'm going to take this one away. Good plate in the bowl over there. Now I'm going to go up to medium. Get hot again. I'm going to pour. Hopefully everybody's eating fried rice or their pilaf soon. Got that going. The next thing's going to be, again, the veggie test. Let's just do one. That's a no. A hard no. It's not even remotely sizzling. It's starting to make bubbles, so it's getting there. Mine's probably getting hot faster than yours, so I'm using the magnetic cooking induction cooker. There you go. Again, it's going to splatter. I'm going to take a step back here. Hear the sizzle. Coat that. Good. You don't want to brown it because then it's going to start burning and getting bitter. Okay. So you'll smell the ginger and the garlic and the scallions. Okay. Now it's popping. Time for the rice. If you try to use the fresh rice, it is going to make one big glue mess. So it's best to use old rice. If you're in a pinch and you didn't make your rice ahead of time, you can always flatten your rice out onto like a tray or a plate and separate it. Make a little even layer and put it in the freezer or the refrigerator, and it'll help dry your rice out. But it's still best to have a day-old rice to use. That's kind of how fried rice came about. So we're coating it real good. I'm adding my pinch of pepper, my salt. Good. What's next? Anybody? Anybody? Shrimp or your meat. You got pork. One of the best stir fries I had was in Hawaii, and they use Spam. It's like their favorite thing to use for stir fry rice. It's so good.
And I'm not a fan, but they brought back child memories. So my shrimp in there, and I'm using cooked shrimp already. This makes it a lot safer when you're doing the stir fry. You're dealing with ingredients that are already all cooked, especially if your children are trying to make this. Okay, so I got my shrimp in there. My veggies are next. Now, if you want to wok, you push all the food off to the side a little bit like this, where the heat comes up the sides of the wok. But we have a saute pan. We're using what we got here. I know how big woks are. Most people don't have room to store those in their house. Okay, now it's time for me to turn it up. I'm going to start putting my sesame oil. Again, if you don't have sesame oil and you want to use, it's for flavoring. You don't cook really with sesame oil, okay? It's not meant to be cooking food with. It's more for flavoring, okay? So you just need a little bit of it for the seasoning, okay? Same thing with peanut oil. I mean, although some people cook with peanut oil, it's really more for flavoring in my book. Sizzling. You want to put in, the reason you want to put the heat up is because when it's hot like this, it will absorb the soy sauce much faster because it starts to evaporate. You see how it went right into the rice. Constantly moving it. You can imagine if this rice was new and fresh and wet, it would be one glutinous mess right now, okay? Now, we're going to taste next. Let's see if we need to add anything. Add our egg. Taste. That's good. No salt needed. I'm gonna put it on low or turn it off, whichever you choose. And we're gonna do the egg. Transferring the egg over here. Extra piece. And we're gonna roll it. Okay, like an egg roll. Right in there. I'm gonna try and toss it up in there, the egg. And if you don't like egg or you're not a fan of it, don't put the fried egg in there, okay? You can always customize things. These are just, I'm giving you the base foundation and you can kind of use your creativity to make your own design, okay? Any questions? We're gonna go back and we're gonna take a look at our rice pilaf again. I'm just gonna put this to the side here and put it in my plate. That. You can also serve it like this in a nice pretty bowl with your chopsticks and you're ready to go. See how pretty that looks? This is the soy sauce I like, Kinkelman's, and then this is the sesame oil that I like to use. But feel free to use what you have, especially right now. It's hard to get things. Let's take a look at our rice pilaf. Okay, it has had time to steam. I'm gonna hold it up like this so you can see it. You pull it away, and you're gonna fluff it. Your grains should be pretty separated, okay? If you use a spoon, you're gonna have a problem because what happens is the fork allows it to go between the grains. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour it out onto an actual tray to show you what I like to do to cool it off, to get it ready. So this way it doesn't make a sticky mess at the bottom, okay? Use the fork and fluff it, separate it. And so I don't scratch my pan. At the very bottom, I do use a silicone spatula. There you go. Okay. Use a spoon, it's gonna make mush. A little bit more here. All right. So show you to separate that. Nice grains. Same thing, you can give it a taste. Now, if you were saying, well, Mrs. Rizzo, I'm making rice pilaf. If I wanted to throw chicken in there and just make it a one pot meal, can you do that? Yes, you can. But make sure your chicken is cooked. Okay? Because you want to just make sure that, you don't have extra liquid because it'll make it too wet. Okay? So putting raw chicken in there will increase your ratio. Remember those ratios that we talked about? So this way, your ratios will stay the same. All right? You can always toss it in at the end, at the very end. Now you can take a taste of this. That's good. It's a very neutral, but you can make your saffron rice like this. You can make wild rice. You just gotta read the package. But the peel-off method means you take it and you cook it in the oven, and that's what's most important. Letting the oven cook it nice and even and not brown the bottom. Questions? Anybody? Great, so now we have, right down here, we have chicken fried rice, rice pilaf, and we have shrimp rice. This nice panda chopsticks. All right. I'm glad everyone paid attention and learned something, hopefully. In June, we're gonna be doing classes again because the library has been so nice to sponsor and host classes for June. We're gonna be doing in June, hot breakfast roll-ups. We're gonna be doing French toast and berry compote. We're also gonna be doing cinnamon rolls and mac and cheese, where you'll learn how to make a bechamel sauce. So tune in, and I hope to see you next week. And I missed everybody. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Debbie.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.